All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Henry Jake Foreman. I'm so grateful to have you all here today. Welcome to today's training, Grow Your Business with AI-Powered Tools by Google. This training is brought to you by Grow with Google, and I'm so excited to introduce myself and meet everyone here today. I'm going to start off with a little prologue. I just wanted to share a little bit more about myself and my ancestors. On my dad's side, I am Native American. I'm absentee Shawnee from Oklahoma. I'm also Filipino, and I'm really going to emphasize this as well. My grandparents came from the Philippines to the Big Island of Hawaii to be farmers on a sugarcane plantation. And they always told me, whatever you do, go to school and get your degree. Do not become a farmer. And I got to school, I got my bachelor's and master's degree. But guess what? I still want to be a farmer. I have a green thumb. I still love to grow food. And that's what really led me actually to become interested in entrepreneurship. I started as a high school teacher in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And really, when I was working with my students, they were all really interested in entrepreneurship. And so I helped develop a curriculum for entrepreneurship. We started up our own business in downtown Albuquerque called the Karana Colectiva. And Karana is Sanskrit for compassion, so Compassionate Collective. And that led me to a nonprofit at New Mexico Community Capital, where we support entrepreneurs with access to resources, capital, and technical assistance. And ultimately, that led me to Google as a digital coach. So I've been working in this position for over 6 years before the pandemic, training thousands of people across the country and really focusing on Indigenous communities. So I'm really grateful to be here with our Pan-Indigenous community with you all today. And I'm really excited to share more about AI tools. So thank you all so much for joining. We are going to really focus on the introduction to AI, and I'm going to explain AI at a really high level. I'm going to show you examples of ways you could use AI to help your business succeed. I'm going to give you all resources to learn more. So let's go ahead and get started. So what exactly is artificial intelligence? In a nutshell, AI describes computer programs that can complete cognitive tasks typically associated with human intelligence. But before we dig deeper into AI, let's briefly look at some big shifts in technology that got us here. So we're going to go back into a time machine, right? 25 years ago. Do you all remember that? This is when search engines made their debut. Anyone out there remember their first web search? What browser did you all use? I remember probably Internet Explorer for me is Safari. If you're one of the earliest web users, you personally experienced technology change our connection with the world. It led to e-commerce, which changed the way the world did business. Next came smartphones. They changed e-commerce and accelerated the rise of social media. Now we're experiencing the next technology shift, artificial intelligence or AI. With AI, anything you could imagine, you can create. You could turn text into beautiful imagery, video, music, or code, and you could talk to your data to gain valuable insights. You could also accelerate your productivity using AI, and you can interact with customers in a more natural and helpful way. AI is being used to tackle challenges big and small. For example, it could help doctors detect diseases earlier, enable banks to preemptively stop fraudulent charges, and empower people to access information in their own languages. AI opens up opportunities that can significantly improve billions of lives. But AI can also help with everyday challenges too. For anyone out there who has trouble deciding what to watch next, AI could learn preferences and detect patterns to suggest content on streaming video platforms. I use it every time. I use YouTube. I was just in Japan earlier this summer using Google Translate every single day to connect with people. And AI is enabling businesses to innovate and help get things done faster. Some people express concerns about how AI might affect the business landscape. Consider this, you're not competing against AI, you're competing against other businesses who are already using it. A study from December 2023 found that 64% of small businesses already use AI tools or plan to use them in the next 2 years. Many small businesses say they already use AI tools to save time and money and identify growth opportunities. Among those using AI in their businesses, 82% say they have already seen positive outcomes such as cost savings, improving productivity, and more sales. So we're going to briefly cover some terminology to lay the groundwork for this presentation. First, machine learning. It gives computer systems, the machines, the ability to learn without explicit programming. Instead, it learns from examples, using data to train models to perform complex tasks. One type of model is called a language model. Language models are trained on text data, anything from books to social media posts. Once trained, a model uses math and statistics to predict words. For example, it might be able to predict that when the word fish is followed by the word and, the next word is probably chips. There's also a souped up version called a large language model or LLM. LLMs are trained on a massive amount of data, thinks millions or billions of words. LLMs can learn language patterns, which are useful for tasks like translations, answering questions, and summarizations. LLMs can also be used as foundations for AI models that can create new content, hence generative AI or Gen AI. Gen AI models can learn patterns and relationships necessary to generate content, including text, images, videos, code, and music. This technology is under development and it's changing every single day. This past year, oh my gosh, we've seen major developments in LLMs and generative AI. You all might already be practicing on the new model from Google, Nano Banana. And incidentally, many of you are probably already using it. If you use a voice assistant like the Google Assistant, you use AI. It powers many features you see on websites like chatbots and product recommendations. As the technology develops, it will most likely, you're going to see it more and more in everyday use. I'm already using it. Believe it or not, you could even run LLMs on something like your own cell phone without the internet. So now that you all have a better understanding about AI, let's look at ways that Google's AI tools can help make your business more productive. One caveat, some features shown in this presentation may not be available in your region. Also, the tools are changing rapidly and might look a little different within weeks, hours, or minutes. So this is an entrepreneur that I've had the pleasure of working with and is a good friend. She is the CEO of Prados Beauty, and her name is Cece Meadows. Prados Beauty sells high quality beauty tools, cosmetics, accessories, and more in a New Mexico store in Las Cruces, on a website, and in a major department store. Today, Cece is building on her success by using AI tools to work smarter and faster. So let's look at ways that AI can help businesses like Prados Beauty and yours as well. So the first tip, using AI to help manage your Google business profile. This is so key, especially if you have a storefront business. For anyone who's out there who doesn't know about Google Business Profiles, it's a free way to help business information appear correctly on Google Search and Maps. When a searcher discovers your business profile, they'll see business information such as your address, phone number, hours of operations, photos and videos, customer reviews, and more. So this slideshow shows what a business profile might look like on a smartphone, highlighting the business description. It is literally your digital storefront. This description helps potential customers learn more about the business, such as the products or services offered and what makes the business unique. If you, some of you might need help writing a strong description for your business, you could click the button labeled Suggest Description. This feature uses AI to generate text that you can use if you wish. If you already wrote a business description, you could use the feature to see suggestions for making improvements. So let's check out some tips. Ensure your business profile information is accurate and up to date. The info in your business profile is used to draft the description. Help the feature get started. Try writing a first draft or entering in some details about your business. And finally, review for accuracy. This creative tool can help save time, but you should carefully proofread and make adjustments if needed. That's a great rule of thumb. If you're using any type of AI to create copy text, make sure you edit it, add your own personal touches, but it's a great way to start. Depending on your business category, business profiles may offer other helpful ways to showcase business info. I'm going to highlight a feature available for businesses in the food and drink category, creating a digital menu. This is so key because every time I look up a restaurant, I'm always, what's the menu and how do I order, right? So Google AI can make it easier to quickly add your menu to a business profile. And all you need is a photo or a PDF. Google AI can use the photo or PDF to add menu items, including descriptions and prices, and the items can be organized in sections like appetizers, main courses, and desserts. So let's take a look at how it works. From your business profile, click the section labeled Edit Menu. At the top, click Photos of Menu and select the photos. You can take a photo of your menu using your device's camera and upload an existing photo or PDF. Click Generate a Menu. Review for accuracy, then click Publish and Edit. Once the menu is published, you can make edits and add photos if you wish. Here's a few tips. Use a high quality photo or PDF. It may not work well if the file is blurry or low contrast. The full menu must fit on one page and be captured in one photo, but you could add additional items once it's published. If you're not a restaurant, you may have other features. Periodically check your business profile to see what's available. This is really helpful so you don't have to create a specialized menu to add to your website. It can automatically create it for you. And of course, like I mentioned in Google Translate, maybe it might be your favorite Chinese restaurant. You could actually use it to translate it into English and other languages as well. So next, let's see how AI can help jumpstart research projects. I love this. I'm always researching, checking, what's my competitive advantage. So how might Cece explore new ideas? She could start with a Google search. This may not sound like new advice. After all, Google search has been around for over 25 years, but a Gemini model customized for Google search can give people a search experience that's dramatically better at getting them what they need. You could think of this evolution as search supercharged. You can see this update in AI overviews. AI overviews can help searchers find what they're looking for faster by providing snapshots with key information and links to dig deeper. They might not surface in every search, but they appear when the system determines that generative AI can be especially helpful. There are many more helpful customizations planned ahead. For example, people will be able to ask complex questions, break down concepts into different formats, and more. AI Overviews is gradually becoming available to more users in more languages and regions. This is really helpful when I'm doing research, and I want you all to try it out as well, all right? So we have an activity. Let's check out the AI Overviews. Use your computer or mobile device, open up a browser like Google Chrome, and visit google.com. Now think of a question related to your business or any topic that's on your mind. Type in your search and take a look. Do you see an AI overview at the top of the page? If not, tweak your search and try again. If you're not sure what to search for, consider Prados Beauty. Cece might enter a search like, what are the latest makeup trends? The information she finds might give her content ideas for her website, video channels, ad campaigns, and more. Now let's take 60 seconds so you could give it a try. I'm going to do it myself. I love this. I'm going to add this since where are the most Asian owned businesses? Let's see. Awesome. So right up above, I have an AI overview. The largest concentration of Asian-owned businesses are in California, Hawaii, Texas, New Jersey, and New York, with the San Francisco, Oakland, Berkeley, Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston metro areas having particularly high prevalence. Great. Oh, and then lastly, where my family's from, Hawaii has the highest concentration relative to its population. So that's great. And under that, there's all of the different links I would usually get, but it gave me the answer that I needed right away just here on my cell phone. So I hope you all tried something else. That was really helpful for me. Now I know where to focus my trainings for this next year. All right. So next up, CC can also use Google AI to brainstorm ideas and spark creativity. Our next topic is Gemini, Google's most capable family of AI models to date. I've already mentioned the Gemini model, but what is it exactly? Gemini is not a single AI tool. It's more than just a family of models. I like to think of it like a constellation, right? Actually, Gemini was named after a constellation, believe it or not. And it's really an ecosystem that brings together AI models and Google products. Gemini includes the APIs and platforms that help developers and businesses innovate. Think of Gemini as a power grid. A power grid supplies electricity that powers cities, homes, and appliances within. Gemini supplies the technology that powers AI models, tools, and the computer programs that depend on them. I always love to do research on AI as well, and I believe Gemini is always scoring the highest in terms of its applicability and what it can do. So Gemini works behind the scenes in many Google products, but it can be accessed directly via a standalone conversational tool. To try it out, open a web browser like Google Chrome and visit gemini.google.com. If you're using an Android mobile device, you could use the Gemini app. iOS users can access Gemini in the Google app. Gemini is built for multimodality, which means it can perform advanced reasoning tasks across different mediums like text, images, videos, audios, and code. It was fine-tuned to be especially capable at things like understanding, summarizing, reasoning, coding, and planning. The tool is evolving, but some of its capabilities include pulling in information from other Google apps and services such as Google Workspace, YouTube, and Maps, creating images, publicly sharing work with one click, exporting to apps like Docs, Sheets, and Gmail, and providing coding help in over 20 programming languages for all levels of experience. Gemini can generate and export code, debug code, or explain how code works. One note, carefully test and review all code for errors, bugs, and vulnerabilities. And Gemini is now publicly available in over 230 countries and 40 different languages. That's growing every single day. I just want to re-emphasize, right? We could all code now using Gemini. I don't know if anyone's tried that before, but I've tried it. I've spun up an app from scratch. I've spun up different websites with fully coded that I could use and edit. So to use Gemini, you need to enter a prompt. Think of a prompt as a conversation starter. You'll probably need to tweak it until you find the output you want. A good prompt follows a simple framework. All right, this is where you want to write down notes. Task, context, references, evaluate, and iterate. So if you need a mnemonic device, think thoughtfully, create really excellent inputs. Okay, so let's review the 5 components. First is task. Describe the task you want help with in detail using clear and direct language. If it's a complex task, break it down into smaller steps. There's 2 additional important pieces of information you need to include in the task: a persona and a format. So persona refers to what expertise you want Gemini to draw from. For example, the persona could be, you are a marketing executive with experience in the beauty industry. The format describes the output you want, such as an email, a bulleted list, or table. You could also be as descriptive as you like and see details that do not need to appear in any particular order in the prompt. Next, the context. Context provides the details necessary to help Gemini understand what you need. This is the difference between a prompt like write a professional blog post about a new eyeshadow palette and write a promotional blog post promoting a new eyeshadow palette. It costs $30. It includes 18 colors featuring golden browns, rich chocolates, and fierce blues. The product is matte with deep pigment. Make the writing fun and playful, right? So that's really quite a difference. You see all the detail, the context. Let's move on to the next one. In some situations, you may also add references. For example, if you're asking Gemini to create a blog post, you might include examples of blog posts you wrote in the past. These would serve as references for Gemini and may result in a more useful output. Next, evaluate. Review the output and see if you got what you wanted. This leads us to the final part of the framework, iterate. If you didn't get what you wanted, try again. You could add more information or tweak your prompt. I usually like to iterate. I like to see different examples. And also going back to references, this is where it's really important to keep all your information, especially your business information, organized. So I actually draw a lot of my references from my Google Drive, right? And in my Drive, I have it organized where everything, I have product information to product photos, and I can upload those files from my Drive to Gemini. And if you have Google Enterprise, it does that automatically. So you could actually write in the document, you could use your Drive as an example. And that's really helpful because you want it to really match your style, your voice, the company's style and voice, right? To make sure that it's perfect and you get that right output. So even if you use the framework, sometimes the output isn't what you want. And that's when iteration can help. There are 4 tips for clarifying and refining prompts to get better results. First, you want to always revisit the framework. Make sure your prompts include tasks, context, and references, plus persona and format. The persona and format is usually what I forget in my prompts. So really, I got to remember that. I'm a marketing expert. I'm a digital coach, right, etc. Second, separate the prompt into shorter sentences. Instead of packing the entire framework into one long sentence, write separate sentences for each element or step. Third, tweak the phrasing and explain what you want in another way. Ask Gemini to perform a different but similar task in order to trigger a new response. And fourth, introduce constraints or limits. When you set boundaries like a maximum word count, preferred format, you help Gemini provide more useful outputs. Remember, keep trying. Iteration is key to prompt design and finding the results you need. I actually even keep a Google Doc that has my perfect prompts. So I could really replicate those as well. Sometimes even the answers come out differently, but I like to just kind of keep an example format that I could add and edit as well. So are you all ready for another activity? Let's try it out. We're breezing through this presentation. So we're going to run through a prompt writing exercise so you could practice using the framework: task, context, references, evaluate, and iterate. I'm going to present two scenarios for you to choose from. Your job is to add the details to create an effective prompt. So write down your answer on a piece of paper or in a Google Doc. Get my piece of paper out. Let's try this. All right, scenario one, the salesperson. In this scenario, you're asking Gemini to help prepare a sales pitch, okay? You want to create a persuasive sales pitch that highlights your product's features and benefits and addresses potential objections. Your task is to write the prompt and fill in the blanks. So here's the prompt for you to customize. As an experienced salesperson, create a persuasive sales pitch for blank. The pitch should highlight blank, address potential objections such as blank. So I'm going to see if I could put this in. I'm going to put this in the chat messenger for you all so you all could use this. Let's see. Here we go. So we could try that. You could type in there. All right, I'll go back to my presentation. All right, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to write down and start filling in the blanks. You could take a screenshot of this as well for reference if you wish. All right, persuasive sales pitch for blank. The pitch should highlight. Okay, awesome. So you could all use this template for your own business. I'm going to try another scenario, the product manager. In this scenario, you need to develop marketing materials, write a compelling product description, and identify target audiences for a new product. Again, your task is to write the prompt and fill in the blanks. So here's the prompt for you all to customize. As an experienced product manager, create a detailed marketing plan for a new blank. Write a product description, identify target audience, and outline a marketing strategy that includes. So I'll do the same thing, put this in the chat. Thank you all. Copy and paste those. Those are some good keys to help you all when you all put together your own prompts for your work as well. I'm going to give you all 30 seconds. So I'm a product manager. I'm going to create a detailed marketing plan for our new product, and I'm going to call it a management information system. Write a project description. So if I had that, I would go back to my Google Docs, talk about some benefits for a management information system software, right? So I like people to be able to interact with it, create a customer profile, be able to add opportunities, make sure that people can log different opportunities as well. Identify target audiences. So I'm really looking for Asian owned businesses, also Native American owned businesses, and outline a marketing strategy that includes definitely want social media in there, blogs. I'm going to really go kind of viral in this. So I really want to focus on digital marketing and platforms. I'm actually going to go with like things like LinkedIn, maybe more than the other traditional social media marketing. All right, so thank you all for doing that. I just wanted to do that myself to just show you all how to be able to do that. And so let's continue. Hope that helped. So now let's enter your prompt into Gemini. Open a browser window like Chrome and visit gemini.google.com. If it's your first time, you'll need to agree to the terms and conditions. Look for the text box that says enter a prompt here. Copy and paste the prompt and click enter or return. If you don't want to use the example scenarios, try it on your own. Remember the prompt framework, task, context, and references, plus persona and format. Then you're going to evaluate the output and iterate. Once you see a response, you can see other versions by clicking the slider icon and choosing another writing style. You could also build on the conversations. Gemini will add the new details into the output. And when you have an output that you like, you could click the share and export icon below and save it on Gmail, Google Docs, or on a web page that can be shared. If you want to start a fresh conversation, click plus new chat at the top left. Here's a bonus tip. You could also use Gemini to create prompts. So if you feel stuck, ask Gemini to help get you started. So I'm going to give you all 60 seconds to try it out. If we have more time today, I could also share my screen with you all and show you all how I prompt on Gemini. All right? All right. So I hope you all feel more comfortable creating prompts for Gemini after that exercise. We've been focused on using text prompts and asking Gemini to produce text responses. But Gemini can do more than that. Early in the presentation, I mentioned that it's built for multimodality. Modalities are the different formats in which Gen AI tools receive or produce information, like text, images, video, audio, or code. Multimodal prompting describes the ability to use multiple modalities like text and image in the same prompt. For example, you could take a picture of a chart and ask Gemini to explain the data in plain language. You could upload a PDF and ask Gemini to write a summary, and then ask Gemini to generate an illustration to accompany the summary. You could upload multiple logo designs and prompt Gemini to create variations based on each design direction. Use your imagination. Try to think of ways that Gemini's multimodality capabilities can help improve your productivity. When you use Gemini again, go ahead and give it a shot. And I've been using this for different logo designs that I've been working on. I've been helping clients, come up with visualizations for a commercial, also for their business plan. How can they best illustrate it visually? All right. So let's also talk about how you could use AI to help streamline communication and boost productivity when using tools like Gmail, Docs, Sheets, and Slides. One note, there's a different version of these productivity tools, including a free consumer version and a professional version called Google Workspace. Today, I'm going to highlight some Gmail AI features that are available in both consumer and business versions. But first, let's take a look at this video featuring Mark Cuban. He explains how Google AI and Google Workspace helps his company cost press drugs. I'm probably going to share that link with you all because I have about 10 more minutes. So I'm going to skip that video, but I'm going to show you all how to use Gmail Smart Compose. All right. So Gmail uses AI to be more helpful across a range of tasks, from managing incoming mail to helping write emails and replies. For example, when you write an email, Gmail sometimes suggests words to complete your sentence, and that's a feature called Smart Compose. Smart Compose offers predictive writing suggestions. It won't write an email from scratch, but it helps along the way. When you see the suggested words in the background, hit Tab to accept the suggestion. For example, if Cece was composing an email thanking a customer for visiting her store, she might type in the words, "Thank you for visiting Las Cruces, New Mexico." In this case, Smart Compose might predict the next word is Mexico. Cece could click the tab button to accept the prediction or ignore it and keep typing. Smart Compose can also behave well, even smarter, with another feature called Smart Compose Personalization. This feature tailors suggestions based on your writing style. Only you can see your private personalized suggestions. When personalization is turned off, you could see generic suggestions. One important note, Smart Compose is designed to predict words in a sequence, not provide answers. Remember that these are writing suggestions that may not predict factually correct information. Gmail offers suggestions automatically by default, but you can turn the feature on and off in settings under General in the section labeled Smart Compose and Smart Compose Personalization. This is one way that AI and Gmail can help you spend less time in your inbox. Today, I've probably responded to at least 10 different emails using Smart Compose. I feel like it definitely helps my life, and it really kind of, I think, actually sounds better than me sometimes, right? Because if I was typing, I would just say, "Great, thank you," as opposed to a full detailed, response that really shows that I was listening and reading what was in the email as well. So I love that. So have you all ever noticed that when reading an email, Gmail might suggest snappy replies? And that's AI in action again, right? So this is what we're calling smart reply. Can help you be more efficient by sending replies in seconds. If CC receives a question from a customer like, "Do you have the matriarch bronzer quad in stock at the store?" Gmail might offer one-click responses like, "Yes, we do," or "No, we don't." Again, really helping save time and energy. I'm going to highlight a couple more. This is really helpful. I was never taught this, so I'm always grateful to learn more around Gmail and AI. So there's another AI feature called the tabbed inbox that can help you navigate and organize your email. It classifies and automatically sorts them into a tab like primary, promotions, social, updates, and forums. If a message appears in one tab that really belongs in another, you could drag that email to another tab to help train the model on your personal preferences. AI also powers summary cards that display information at the top of certain emails messages. It looks for certain data from inbound emails and displays highlights at the top of the message like travel and shopping confirmations, hotel bookings, restaurant reservations, ticketed events like concerts, and Google Calendar invites. An added bonus for calendar invites, you can change your response and see what other events you've got that day right from the summary card. Last but not least, nudging. Nudging offers reminders to reply or follow up on emails. It's the first Gmail AI feature that runs on both inbound and outbound emails. So here's how it works. Nudging detects which emails you haven't replied to, predicts which of them you normally answer. After a few days, it automatically brings unanswered messages to the top of your inbox with a polite nudge asking if you want to reply. Nudging is also able to remind you about emails you sent if you haven't received an reply. It automatically sends a notification to your inbox asking if you want to send a follow-up email. This is really helpful. I just used it today to chat with someone at Google Cloud. They did not respond to my email on Friday. It nudged it and I said, hey, I look forward to meeting. And right away, the person got back to me and set up a meeting for Friday. So again, that wouldn't have happened if I wasn't reminded via the nudge. All right. So if your business uses Google Workspace, there's an optional paid add-on called Gemini for Google Workspace. It provides a suite of generative AI features that work across all of your connected apps. Again, this is a paid feature on top of the base price for Google Workspace. You can learn more information, including pricing, at workspace.google.com/solutions/AI. I'm going to put that in the chat. There also is Google Workspace for nonprofits. That's what I use. It's basically the paid subscription to Google Enterprise. And, I've never been happier to use Google Workspace with the AI integration because it helps my life, right? It helps all of my work make it way easier for me. So we've covered a lot of ground in this presentation. How y'all doing? Right? We got about 4 more minutes. So I'm going to finish it and we're going to touch on a few more ways AI could help make Google's products more helpful for you all. So some businesses tuning in today may use Google Ads to advertise their products and services online. If you're an advertiser, you may have noticed the conversational experience available when creating new search campaigns. It's designed to help you build better search campaigns through chat. You could also use the conversational experience to help create new search and headlines and descriptions, generate relevant keywords, suggest images, and suggest site links. If you want to learn more, visit g.co/grow/search ads. I'll put that in the chat as well. We are currently running a Google Ads campaign for a new resilience hub we have here in Albuquerque. And this feature has been so helpful in generating keywords, doing the research, and ultimately, gaining customers. So another way AI helps advertisers is by powering campaign types like Performance Max. Performance Max campaigns drive performance based on conversation goals, right, and conversion goals using the power of AI to optimize performance in real time. This campaign type produces and runs ads across the entire Google Ads inventory, including channels like YouTube, Display, Search, Discover, Gmail, and Maps. It all happens from a single campaign within your set budget. It could also help with asset creation using Gen AI to create multiple text and image assets. Most retail advertising with Google are already using Performance Max and seeing great results. Beyond retail, advertisers who adopt Performance Max see an average increase of 27% more conversions or value at a similar cost per action or return on ad spend. You could start with any budget. Again, we've tried this as well. And you could see things like Google AI is able to create things like this Merchant Center Next, right? So it's a no-cost tool. It allows retailers to list their products in places like Google Shopping results. Merchant Center Next users can access a product studio, a suite of free AI-powered tools that creates high-quality product images, Product Studio can customize product images by generating scenes, increasing image resolution, and editing backgrounds. CC might use it to refresh product images for holidays, seasons, and sales. Product Studio is still experimental, so be on the lookout for new features like style aligned assets, which allows you to upload a single reference image to help Google AI understand your style, and image to video, which can create a product video from an image. When you save new or updated images to Merchant Center Next, they'll automatically appear across a wide range of Google platforms, including search results, shopping ads, performance max campaigns, and anywhere else that utilizes feed data. If you all want to learn more, I'll send you all the link, g.co/grow/product studio. This is all really helpful because I remember back in the day, I would use the whole Adobe suite to create all of my product images. It would take, hours. I would maybe even hire a photographer, all these different designers. And now I could do it all in one place. It's really helpful. And last but not least, how can we not talk about Google Analytics, right? For anyone out there who isn't familiar with Google Analytics, it's a platform that collects data from your websites and apps in order to create reports that could help you understand your customer behavior. It's all about data, right? Data-informed decisions. Many small businesses use the no-cost version to monitor traffic, explore trends, and understand visitors. Google Analytics uses machine learning to quickly identify patterns and help you find what you're looking for, and this feature is called analytic intelligence. Automated insights surface when machine learning detects unusual changes or emerging trends in your data. For example, in Cece's case, she might use Google Analytics insights to know if there's an unusual change in the number of Prados Beauty website visitors, so she can investigate why it might be happening. Every time Cece interacts with an insight, analytics intelligence learns more about what information matters to her and can surface new insights accordingly. So, a lot of information, right? And before we recap, let's briefly talk about Google's approach to developing AI. It's really important. We need to talk about responsible AI and really, since its earliest days, Google has used artificial intelligence to make products more useful, secure, and safe for users around the world. As teams across Google's work to make AI even more helpful for users, they're taking a responsible approach from start to finish so everyone can benefit safely and equitably. You can find out more about Google's AI principles and their approach to responsible AI by visiting AI Google /responsibility. It actually took over a year to create this deck for the public for this very reason. They really wanted to make sure that we did it right. And you should now understand the basics of artificial intelligence and some common terminology like Gen AI. You could say you saw AI being used to help people solve problems, big and small. And you learned a few ways that Google AI is improving products and services to help businesses grow and thrive. So I think it's really helpful to look at these, to explore more, do your research on AI. You could always check out grow.google/AI essentials if you want to learn more on Coursera. I took it. It was really helpful, especially about the prompting and just learning more about how you could effectively use it at your own business or for your own personal use. There's also professional certificates that you could access via Coursera as well. Please let me know or let our amazing partner see if they're interested in these Google career certificates. I did the digital marketing and e-commerce certificate. I'm really grateful for it. It taught me a lot of things that I thought I knew, but I got to learn more about. So that's grow.google/certificates. You could check it out. I should have some scholarships available so I could follow up with people via email, but hopefully you all are interested in that. And we're also on YouTube, youtube.com/grow with Google. You should check us out. There's more videos. They post weekly as well, and they feature other Googlers talking about how you could best use this technology. So lastly, you could go to google.com/grow. We launched in 2017, and we've helped over 11 million Americans grow their skills, careers, and businesses via trainings and in-person workshops. There's over 9,000 partner organizations, including this organization you are on with today. Really grateful for the partners. And here's a list of products and resources we covered today. You could take a screenshot of it to just have all those links I shared in the chat. We just want to thank you so much again. There's some time for questions, but we also have a survey as well if you want to provide some feedback. So you could use that QR code, and we love your feedback on this presentation. But I think it's time to go into our Q&A. So I'm going to get to that, stop sharing my screen with you all. Thank you all. We also have a group photo today, so thank you so much for the reminder. Awesome.
Hi, everyone. This is Pedro with US PAC. We're going to take a quick photos. I'm going to do the countdowns. And is everyone ready? Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So 3, 2, 1. Another one.
Yay.
3, 2, 1. Okay. Final one. 3, 2, 1. All right. Thank you so much. I'll pass it back to Jay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you all for turning on your cameras. Oh my gosh, so many beautiful people. I'm so grateful. I'm in here in the Southwest, and I usually get to present to my Native American community, but I hardly get to present to other Asian Americans, and I'm really proud of that. And so thank you all so much for being on camera. It's nice to meet everyone. I hope to see everyone in person maybe soon, but I'm not going to spoil it. So let's talk about some frequently asked questions. All right. Did you want to ask the questions, or should I just go over it? All right. Well, I'll start with the first question. I always get this a lot. Will Gemini use my prompts to train itself, and will my prompts become part of the public domain? So the answer is no, it wouldn't become a part of the public domain, but there's some nuance, right, on how Google may use inputs into Gemini. But the user can control that in the Gemini app's activity setting, how conversation data is stored separately. And also worth noting is that uploads to Gemini, including images and other files, are not used to train unless a user chooses to do so when providing feedback. So we always get that. Again, all right, this is another question that I always receive. What if my business wants to create our own model? How can I use Google AI to build my own thing? Our training is tailored for small businesses who are interested in using existing AI-powered tools. If you're looking to develop your own tools, Google for Developers has a lot of information to easily integrate the Gemini API, quickly develop prompts, and transform your ideas into code to generative AI applications. So you can learn more by visiting developers.google.com. I'll put that in the chat right now as well, so you all could have that. I know we got some smart people in here that are probably like, yeah, I want to create my own model. And so we definitely have that question answered. And I think the last question that I get is, what are Google's goals and commitments related to providing small businesses with AI skills? So there's funding to America's SBDC to support the creation of an AI curriculum and AI clinics to help 100,000 small businesses unlock the power of AI to grow. And they have something called an AI Opportunity Fund. So Google is committed to making information universally accessible, and they must continue to invest in people, education, and training programs that help workers, learners, and small businesses of all backgrounds learn to use AI effectively. So they believe in a collaborative approach. It's necessary to make AI training accessible to workers and local communities. They announced a $75 million AI Opportunity Fund, which will help over 1 million Americans learn essential AI skills by providing funding to best-in-class workforce development and educational organizations across critical segments of society. So this funding is going to last for 3 different years, and I look forward to sharing more information on this as well. I also want to share something called Google AI Studio as well, and that's another way you could kind of custom tailor your AI journey with you. So I'll put that in the chat as well. And thank you so much for sharing the handout as well. There's a 2-page handout about Gemini as well. Awesome. Great. Well, thank you all so much. Um, do we have time for more questions or should we end the webinar?
Yes, we do.
Great. Thank you, Jonathan.
Oh, we do have a questions about whether the recording will be made available after the training.
Yeah, that's totally up to you all, but I'm happy if you all would like to have that available. That's a great idea. Thank you, Dr. Kathleen Dawson. I'm so excited. I'm so interested in your all's business. If you want to put in your website, if you have one, I would love to learn more as well about your all's business. I take it we're all around the country. Got some palm trees in the back. Dr. Kathleen, hope you're enjoying that beach out there. Cool. Thank you. Yay. Nice. Kapoor Energy Environmental Economics, LLC. Nice. Very cool. I take it you're probably using some type of AI tool to help with your research. This is really helpful. I love it. Oh, so cool. Nice. IHS Energy Audit Services. Great. Women entrepreneurs in STEM research. I love that. Thank you, Dr. Kapoor. What learning paths or resources do you suggest for more agentic uses? Oh, I think everyone has dreams of having their own personal Jarvis. Whoa. We do lobbying and government affairs, GS protocol and associates. Oh my gosh. Okay, I got something for you. That's a great question. Yeah, I'm definitely on this kind of agentic approach as well. And there's a couple different resources that Google published. One is actually creating your own agents as well. But there's a tool, maybe unofficially, if we, well, you could keep it recorded. I'll go ahead and post a link for you all. Here, this is really cool. This is a document called Agentic Design Patterns. It's really a workbook that you could use to explore more. Thank you. That's a great question, Trey. Hopefully you could access that. What are some limitations you find with AI? How to prevent AI hallucinations when looking for information? Great question, Kevin. I mentioned I'm Native American, so again, there's not much data out there for us, right? So using AI, it's always limiting, right? Even if I wanted to generate like an image of a Native Americans, it usually comes off as very caricature, right? Or like, I guess we could probably say the same thing for our communities. So it's all about the data, right? If garbage data going in, garbage data coming out, right? So it's really important that we're working with the right data. I think it goes back to us creating our own LLMs and systems. And how do we prevent AI hallucinations when looking for information? I'm going to put in another chat we didn't get to talk about, but Notebook LM. This is the closest thing that you all can do to really, focus on what type of information you're putting in, right? And so with Notebook LM, you could actually input all of the data that you want, including the references, and then that allows it to be able to like ask that source of information questions. So you really want to reference, PDFs, you want to reference documents. This is really the go-to. And then it actually answers with citations. So that really helps prevent AI hallucinations as opposed to just asking Gemini, I'm now in Notebook LM, I have all my sources and I want to ask, those sources questions and then be able to include citations. So that's what I found helpful. Again, customizing your model, and that also you could use AI Studio to really help further customize your AI models. So it's definitely a problem, that's just around the hallucinations as well. Awesome. Notebook LM is great for learning new things as well. It could take documents, or in our case, legislation, and create a podcast style conversation. It's a great resource. Thank you, Trey. I totally agree with you. I don't like to read sometimes, so I'm putting in all my documents and turn it into a podcast and I'll listen to it on my way to work. That's great. Ooh, Joel, I think that's the question. Awesome. You'll send you the links to you via email. Great questions. Thank you all so much. Google Learning. Yes, tell me more. Google Learning. You want to learn? So I'll put that chat into, um, like I mentioned too, there is other ways that you could learn more about it. And I just stay up to date. I also always follow Google's blog for the updated information about what's being released. I'm just always kind of doing that research. I'm like, this is happening so fast. You know, the models are shifting so fast and the innovations are happening. So yeah, it's always really helpful to just stay up to date in that way. But Coursera has been my go-to to just learn more and stay connected via their Google Learning platform, the Google Professional Certificates. Yes, I'm also worried about privacy when using AI. What can we do to protect ourselves better? That's a great question, Kevin. Definitely something to Google. This is the hard part. I mean, basically, what do they say? The old adage, there's nothing free, right? There's no such thing as free lunch. So the first step that I would do is I would upgrade to a Google Enterprise account if I'm using Gemini or AI, because there's increased security built into those enterprise accounts as well. And I mentioned this. This is really interesting. I think this is going to be the future of AI development. There's a new model out, which is basically run just on cell phones without the internet. So people are creating their own networks just via their phone. It's a form of, we're always kind of up to date on like data sovereignty, right? So if we don't want any of our information on the internet, we could create our own small language models that are just connected via our phone. And in this phone, you have biometric, ways to just access the information on the phone and nothing else, and creating kind of a, what do they call it, a decentralized kind of network, to be able to use these models. So I'm definitely on that, Kevin. Love to learn more about how other people are using ways to increase their privacy using AI. It's definitely scary. I'm not going to lie. There's definitely, a lot of concerns around privacy. But again, those key things of doing your research, learning more about it, and again, just starting with that research question, right? What are those best ways? I can put that into my Google search and see what it comes up with, right? Awesome. Any other questions, comments? I'll just add to this. So I just asked the AI overview using strong security practices such as updating software, using strong password, and enabling multi-factor authentication, while also being mindful of the information you share and reviewing the privacy settings of AI tools. All right, the data anonymization, differential privacy, and federated learning to build privacy preserving AI systems from the groundwork up. All right. And that's definitely a concern around agentic AI, right? So there's also benefits and risks. Implement encryption, use advanced privacy techniques, set data retention policies, conduct risk analysis, and obtain consent. That's also really key. Cool. Great. Well, thank you all so much for joining today. I look forward to seeing you all again. Thank you for sharing that survey, Paisan. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Trey. Have a good rest of the day. Nice to meet everyone.